Hello and welcome back again in eTeacher Education. Today we have a new lesson as we know about the grammar tenses, the past perfect continuous tense, and how we form and use the past perfect continuous. The tense is formed with had been plus the present participle, and it is therefore the same for all persons. For example, affirmative, I had been working, etc. Negative form, they had not, hadn't been working, etc. Interrogative, had you been working, etc. And negative interrogative, had you not, hadn't you been working, etc. So it is not used with verbs which are not used in the continuous forms, except with want and sometimes wish. Okay? For example, the boy was delighted with his new wife. He had been working one for a long time means this tense has no passive form. The nearest passive equivalent of a sentence such as they had been picking apples would be apples would be picked, which is not the same thing. I'm going to repeat again. The boy was delighted with his new wife. He had been working one for a long time. Okay, this example has now the passive form, and the nearest passive equivalent is in the second sentences below. For example, they had been picking apples. If we ask, what had they been picking? What? Apples. They had been picking apples is the active form and would be passive. Now what they had been picking apples. Apples would be picked. It means passive. The next form is use. The past perfect continuous bears a relation to the past perfect, as the present perfect continuous bears to the present perfect. When the action began before the time of speaking in the past and continue it up to that time, or stop just before it, we can often use either form. For example, it was now 6 and he was tired because he had worked since dawn. Just focus here. He had worked since dawn means that the action began before the time of speaking in the past and stopped just before it. In the second one, it was now 6 and he was tired because he had been working since dawn. He had been working since dawn now means that the action began before the time of speaking in the past and continue it up to that time. Okay. A repeated action in the past perfect can sometimes be expressed as a continuous action by the past perfect continuous. For example, he had tried 5 times to get her on the phone, and the second one, he had been trying 5 times to get her on the phone. But there is a difference between a single action in the simple past perfect and an action in the past perfect continuous. For example, by 6 o'clock he had repaired the engine means that the job had been completed. The second one is he had been repairing the engine tells us how he had spent the previous hour or half hour, etc. It does not tell us whether or not the job was completed. Another difference is that an action in the past perfect continuous continues up to or beyond the time of speaking in the past. An action in the past perfect may occur shortly before the time of speaking, but there could be quite a long interval between them. For example, he had been painting the door means that the paint was probably still wet. But he had painted the door, perhaps recently, perhaps some time ago, means that the action completed. Thank you for watching it, my dear viewers. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel eTeacher Education. See you for the next lesson. Bye.